Hi everyone, welcome back. In this episode, we're going to look at a part 2 cue card about social media. Here's the topic. Describe a time when you saw something interesting on social media. You should say when it was, which platform you saw it on, what it was, and why you found it interesting. You'll hear 2 different model responses, followed by clear breakdowns you can use to structure your own answer. Let's start with the first response from Joseph.
A time when I saw something interesting on social media was just a few days ago. It was in the evening after I got home and I was scrolling through TikTok while eating dinner. I came across a short video of a guy filming his dog's reactions to random household objects. In one clip, the owner slowly pushed a vacuum cleaner toward the dog and the dog froze, stared at it for a few seconds, and then quietly walked out of the room. In another part, the dog noticed its reflection in a mirror and tilted its head like it was trying to figure out what was going on. The captions were simple and matched the dog's expressions, which made the whole thing funnier. I found it interesting mainly because it caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting to laugh, but I did. I watched the video more than once and ended up checking a few other clips from the same account. It was the kind of content that doesn't need any explanation. You either find it funny or you don't. Overall, it stood out because it was light, easy to watch, and didn't try too hard. It was just a genuinely funny video that made a normal evening a bit more enjoyable, and that's enough to make it interesting.
That's the end of Joseph's response. Now let's break it down according to the cue card. Joseph begins by answering when it happened. He says it was just a few days ago, and he adds extra context by mentioning it was in the evening after he got home. This helps set the scene and makes the story feel specific and real. Next, he clearly states where he saw it. He explains that he was scrolling through TikTok while eating dinner, so the platform is introduced naturally as part of the story, not as a separate fact. Then he moves on to what he saw. He describes a short video showing a dog reacting to everyday household objects. Instead of keeping it general, he gives clear examples. The dog freezing when it sees a vacuum cleaner and tilting its head at its reflection in the mirror. These details help the listener visualize the scene. Finally, Joseph explains why he found it interesting. He says the video caught him off guard and made him laugh when he wasn't expecting it. He supports this by explaining his reaction, watching the clip more than once and checking other videos from the same account. This completes the answer and directly addresses the final bullet point. Now let's listen to another response to the same topic. This one approaches the cue card a little differently, but still covers all the key points.
A few weeks ago, I came across something absolutely hilarious while browsing TikTok late one evening. I was just about to put my phone away when I saw a video of a girl pulling a prank on her boyfriend by unboxing what she claimed was a luxury home decor item from a high-end store. The twist was that the so-called designer piece was actually just a plain grey rock she'd picked up from her backyard. What made the video so funny was the way she committed to the joke. She had the rock wrapped in fancy tissue paper and was describing its organic texture and minimalist aesthetic with a completely straight face, while her boyfriend tried his best to react politely. The whole thing was such an obvious parody of how branding can make ordinary things seem valuable. I also ended up scrolling through the comments, which made it even more entertaining. Within hours, people had started copying the idea and posting their own versions of the joke, pretending that random stones from their gardens were expensive decor pieces. It quickly turned into a shared joke rather than just a single video. As someone who sometimes gets tempted by aesthetic purchases, I didn't read too much into it. I just found it genuinely funny. I remember laughing out loud and sending the video to a friend straight away. It wasn't meaningful or inspirational, but it didn't need to be. It was just a clever, well-timed prank that made scrolling feel worth it.
That's the second response. Now let's break this one down as well. Blondie starts by clearly stating when the experience happened, saying it was a few weeks ago. She adds that it was late in the evening. which helps place the moment in time. She then introduces the platform by explaining that she was browsing TikTok and was about to put her phone away when the video appeared. This makes the transition into the story smooth and natural. When describing what she saw, Blondie gives a clear and engaging explanation. She talks about a girl unboxing what she claimed was a luxury home decor item. The key detail is the twist. The item turns out to be a plain grey rock from the backyard. She adds specific details such as the fancy wrapping and the serious tone to make the prank easy to imagine. To finish, she explains why it was interesting to her. She says it made her laugh and that she enjoyed how committed the creator was to the joke. She also mentions scrolling through the comments and seeing other people join in by posting similar videos. This shows her reaction clearly and directly answers the final part of the cue card. Before we finish, I want to highlight some practical vocabulary for this topic. You can use these expressions to describe what you saw on social media and how you reacted, even if your story is different from the examples. When you talk about social media in IELTS, it helps to start by setting the scene clearly. Instead of saying something basic like, "I used TikTok," you can say you were scrolling through social media or browsing TikTok. These phrases sound more natural and reflect how people actually talk about using their phones. Adding a time reference makes your answer more specific. For example, you might say late in the evening or during my break. A sentence like, "I was scrolling through TikTok late in the evening after I got home," immediately tells the listener when and where the experience happened. To introduce the content itself, it's very common to say that you came across something. This shows that you found it by chance rather than searching for it. For example, I came across a short video while I was browsing TikTok. Social media content is often brief, so phrases like a short clip or a random post work well. If the video involves a joke, calling it a prank video is clear and accurate. These expressions help you move smoothly from the setting into the main part of your story. When explaining why something was interesting, focus on your immediate reaction. If a video makes you stop scrolling, you can say it caught your attention. If it surprises you, "caught me off guard" is a natural phrase to use. For light-hearted content, it's perfectly fine to say it made me laugh. You don't need anything deeper than that. Describing a video as easy to watch also works well when the content is simple and enjoyable. For instance, it was easy to watch, so I ended up replaying it. A good way to add detail is to mention what you did after watching the post. Saying that you watched it more than once shows genuine interest. If you liked the content, you might also say you checked the account to see similar videos. Sharing the video or reading the comments also sounds very natural in a speaking test. For example, "I shared it with a friend straight away," or "I read through the comments to see how other people reacted." Sometimes the interesting part isn't just the video itself, but how other people respond to it. If a post becomes very popular very quickly, you can say it went viral. When others copy the idea, it's natural to say it started a trend or that people joined in. Mentioning the comments section is also useful when you want to talk about public reactions. For example, "The comments section made the video even funnier." You don't need to memorize everything we just covered. Pick a few phrases that feel natural to you and practice using them in full sentences. That's all for today's lesson. If you found it helpful and want more in-depth practice, you can join the channel membership for extra speaking content. I'll see you in the next lesson.